Let's go ahead and compare the budget international phone, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro, and the flagship Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G. Damn, dude, both of these phones have long ass names. So one of the first things that stand out between these two devices is that the Note 10 Pro, the Xiaomi Redmi, that one is a 4G LTE device-only phone, which is totally fine. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G actually has 5G by its name, and theoretically it should have faster speeds if you have 5G, good 5G coverage in your area. So if that's important to you, super high speeds for downloads or uploads, the Ultra 5G should suit you well. But other than that, all the other normal everyday apps shouldn't matter too much. The Note 10 Pro weighs 6.81 ounces or 193 grams, so not too big, not too heavy, while the Ultra 5G, the S21 Ultra 5G, that one weighs 227 grams or 8.01 ounces. So obviously the Samsung weighs a little bit more than the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro. As for the SIM card functionality, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a dual physical SIM card slot, so you could have two physical SIM cards in the phone, which can give you two phone numbers or two data plans. This is very good when you're traveling. You could swap them out, do whatever you want. It's very flexible. While the Samsung has dual SIM card functionality as well, but one of them is an eSIM. So I know that here in the US, eSIMs don't have that many plans. So it depends on what kind of plan you want or what kind of flexibility you want. And if you're a traveler, this might matter to you. But it's a very underrated feature in both of these phones. Next, the Xiaomi has an IP rating of 53 with dust and splash protection. So it's pretty much not a full submersion liquid. So this is minimal protection. This is if you're in the rain or if you drop it in the sink or something like that. While the Samsung has a IP rating of 68, which is dust and water resistant, up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. So this one can be more fully submerged in water and there will be any problem. One extra on the Samsung phone here is that it has stylus support, but that's something you have to buy separately, and there is no such thing as stylus support on the Xiaomi Redmi phone. So both of these phones have some pretty good displays on them. They both have AMOLED displays. The Xiaomi Redmi has a AMOLED screen at 120 Hertz with 450 nits on average with 1200 nits peak, while the Samsung has a dynamic AMOLED display also at 120 Hertz with 1500 nits peak. So it's a little bit brighter on the Samsung phone. As for the size of the display, the Xiaomi has a 6.67 inch screen with 85% screen to body ratio, and the Ultra 5G Samsung has a 6.8 inch screen with 90% screen to body ratio. So the Samsung has a little bit bigger screen, a little bit more real estate, and covers most of the display. As for the resolution on these devices, the Xiaomi has a full HD display, so it's 1080 by 2400 pixels at 395 ppi density, while the Samsung has 1440 by 3200 pixel resolution at 515 ppi density. So you're getting, on paper, a higher quality screen on the Samsung, but you probably wouldn't notice unless you put these devices head to head. For the software side, these phones have both Android 11. The Xiaomi has its MIUI 12 skin on it, while the Samsung has One UI skin on it. What I could say is that you're not going to get a lot of update support on the Xiaomi Redmi, but you are going to get couple of years of software updates, or at least that's what they're trying to say on Samsung phones. They both offer different features, different customizable settings. You can go on and on for hours customizing these phones to your liking, so you definitely have to go in and try them out for yourself. On the chipset, the Xiaomi has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G, and the Samsung Ultra 5G has a best-in-class Snapdragon Qualcomm 888 processor in some markets, but the international version has the Exynos 2100. Pretty much that the Samsung has a better processor, but I'll tell you what, that you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference in performance unless you put these phones side by side and ran them at the exact same time. These are both snappy processors, especially for people that use everyday apps. Next, let's talk about storage. The Xiaomi phone has 64 gigs of internal storage for the base model, and the Samsung Ultra 5G also has double the storage of 128 gigs of internal storage. But the one big difference is that you could add a micro SD card to the Xiaomi phone, so that's a big win for it. If you want to get more storage on the Samsung, you'll have to spend more money on the 256 or 512 gigabyte model. But 64 gigs does seem to be enough for some people, but I highly suggest getting a micro SD card and fit it so you can fit in more pictures and videos and movies and music. Moving on to the cameras, I'm going to say that both of these cameras are good, but if you're really into pictures and videos, the Samsung Ultra handily beats the Xiaomi. But surprisingly, both of these phones have a main shooter of 108 megapixels. Next, the Xiaomi has an 8 megapixel ultra wide. The Samsung has a 10 megapixel or 12 megapixel ultra wide. The Xiaomi has a 5 megapixel macro. The Samsung has a 2 types of telephoto lenses, both 10 megapixels, and the Xiaomi has a 2 megapixel depth camera. So it's safe to say that with all these multiple cameras, both of these phones take video and picture taking very seriously, but more so on the Samsung. The Xiaomi can take video up to 4K, but the Samsung can take it all the way up to 8K, which I think is a little bit of overkill. Moving on to the selfie camera, the Xiaomi has a 16 megapixel shooter, shooting at 1080p video, while the Samsung Ultra 5G has a 40 megapixel shooter, capable up to 4K video. So the selfies are extra crispy on the Samsung, but the Xiaomi's not looking too shabby. Both of these phones support NFC, except that the Xiaomi is only NFC capable in some markets and regions. Both of these have the USB Type-C port. Nothing too special there. The fingerprint reader to unlock the devices are as follows. You get a side fingerprint mounted reader on the Xiaomi, while you get a under the display fingerprint reader on the Samsung. So both of these phones unlocking methods are pretty quick, but the under the display fingerprint reader is extra cool, especially if it's lying flat on the table. You don't have to mess with it so much. Now, something very important in a cell phone that you could spot right off the bat is the battery size. And luckily, both of these phones have big ass batteries. The Xiaomi phone has a 5020 milliamp battery, and the Ultra also has a 5000 milliamp battery. So it's off by just a mark, but both of these have massive batteries. But I'm going to have to give it to the Xiaomi on this one because it is overall a little bit budget on the side of the processor and the screen. So that battery is not going to get taxed as much as the Ultras. So I'm sure that the Xiaomi is going to last way longer than the Samsung 5000 milliamp battery. So we've gone over the specs and compared things on both of these phones between the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra 5G. It's safe to say that both of these devices are very capable of 99% of apps that people use nowadays: social media, texting, Netflix, video streaming, video watching on movies, Spotify, Hulu, all types of stuff. Except if you want to take video more seriously and overall quality, you're going to have to roll with the Samsung Ultra 5G. The Xiaomi phone has the distinction of being a budget device, and it's being sold around $260 in US dollars. If you're in the US and you're trying to buy the Xiaomi, it's going to be a little bit of a pain. If you want to buy the Samsung Galaxy, you can find it everywhere and anywhere in the world very easily, but you're going to pay for it. So if you have a big budget, roll with the Samsung. But if you don't mind taking a hit a little bit on the processor, a little bit on the overall camera, and you don't have a need for an eSIM, then definitely roll with the Xiaomi. That's been my video review and comparison. Thanks for watching. Peace.